It's the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
After the game, Brad Stevens, I mentioned this earlier, had a quote that says a lot to me about what his next step is going to be. And he says, Brooklyn, they've got a lot of athletic guys out there and prideful individual defenders. They know how to play. So we've got to be better at manipulating actions to get what we want. He also said, we just got to attack their switching better. They're going to switch. They're going to play zone. So the Celtics should know how to attack a zone. I know that doesn't always come off as something that they would know, but by now you should know. You see a zone, you know where to go. That shouldn't be as difficult as the Celtics have made it look. Switching's not that hard to attack. It's everybody wants to switch, and it depends on how you rotate behind those switches or how you help behind those switches, I should say. If it's one thing to switch because you've got the personnel, like the Celtics want to switch a lot because they want to have all of these versatile wings that when you switch, you're basically facing a wall of the same guys. And if you do it the right way and you're conscious of the ways that the other team can attack that, and you're helping and you're in the right spots positionally, you can deter some of those things. But the Celtics want to have those versatile guys that can switch because they want all these 6'9" guys and whatever. Brooklyn switches because they have to, because while they do have some individuals who want to defend, they don't always defend. And this is the best way to keep guys in front of them. So the Celtics go out there and they run a high pick and roll. You get the ball with Kemba and you got Tristan Thompson coming out, and they immediately switch. The Celtics need to be aggressive when they see what's happening out there. Once they see if both guys, and this is up to Tristan Thompson, and this is it's up to both guys, but Tristan Thompson has to see this. If he's going up to set the screen for Kemba Walker and both guys are up at the level of the screen, just slip it. But what Tristan Thompson has been doing, this is part of why I don't want him on the floor. Tristan Thompson would go up there and see this opportunity because Kemba Walker is being guarded by Kyrie Irving. And it doesn't matter who's guarding Tristan Thompson. They switch, and Tristan says, oh my God, I've got Kyrie Irving on me. I'm going to take him into the post. And he's basically, hey, mouse in the house, feed it to me, let me score some points. And that is 100% not what the Celtics want to do. And if I see Tristan Thompson out there trying to post up one of these smaller guards, trying to post up Kyrie Irving again, then I'm going to lose my mind, because this is not what the Celtics need him to do. When Kyrie is up and his guy is up at the level of the screen, Tristan has to slip. He has to slip and get into the middle of the paint. That's how he's going to get the ball. I don't want him with a back to the basket, no matter who is defending him. I don't care who is defending him, because those post-ups are going to be ineffective. He's not going to score as much as he needs to score. He's not going to pass out of them when guys come over and help. He is going to bog things down. It's going to be too many guys standing and watching. When those two players are up at the level of the screen, slip the damn screen. Get into the middle of the paint. Because what can happen if you get into the middle of the paint? You get there, someone helps on the weak side. Joe Harris, who's guarding Evan Fournier, Evan Fournier set up in the opposite corner. Joe Harris comes over to slide over. That leaves whoever, Jeff Green on the other side. Jayson Tatum's on the wing. Evan Fournier is in the corner. If Thompson slips the screen and gets into the paint, he's either going to have a dunk, or his help is going to come over and he can turn around and pass it to the corner. If Jeff Green goes down and helps and tries to close out on the corner, Fournier just passes it over to Tatum, open shot. Those are it's little things. It's little things like that. But everybody has to be on the same page. You have to execute these types of things. If they're going to switch, you have to make them pay. If Tristan's not going to slip the screen, if his guy is not up at the level of the screen, when I say up at the level of the screen, I mean there's two guys, everybody's kind of up next to each other. If his guy is not at the level of the screen and has dropped off in anticipation, then what you do is you rescreen. You set a screen. Tristan Thompson is setting a screen for Kemba Walker to go to the middle. So it's, if it's on the right side of the floor, Kemba Walker gets the screen. He screens him on the left. And Kyrie Irving is expecting okay, I'm going to drop a little bit because I know that Tristan's going to switch and want to post me up. So what do? You immediately recognize that, Tristan Thompson. You turn around, you set a second screen, you flip the screen, you set it on for Kemba to do a crossover dribble, go to his right. Now he's got space to shoot. And if Kyrie Irving comes up and whomever is guarding Tristan Thompson's like, well, what do I do now? Do I switch again? And if you switch again, then Kemba's got room to shoot, room to drive, and room to make a move. And then at that point, Tristan Thompson, then you roll. Tristan Thompson has a screen for Kemba to go to the middle. Then he flips it over, and he has a screen for Kemba to go to the right. And Kyrie Irving has dropped. And then he spins. He gets that defender on his hip. Now that defender's behind him, he can roll hard. So if Kyrie decides to step up to Kemba, boom, it's a pass to the rolling Tristan Thompson. He gets the ball in the middle of the lane again. In both of these scenarios, better position than he would if it was a post up. And then the same trickle down effect happens. Does Kyrie dig down? Then Kemba can reconnect, redirect, and go into the corner, relocate into the corner, kick it back out, kick it out to Fournier if the other guy helps. Plenty of options. But just from a simple pick and roll on the right side, you recognize what's happening. Two guys are up. Boom, I'm gone. I'm slipping. My guy's dropping back. Boom, rescreen, flip that screen, give Kemba room to move. Then by getting into the paint, guys on the perimeter, the other defenders have to suck in. Guys on the perimeter can relocate themselves. Open options everywhere. The Celtics can do this very, very easily. They can also, when they're instead of running the high pick and roll, they can just dump it off. And this would be more of a Robert Williams thing, but they can dump it off to the big up at the corner. Instead of that guy coming up to set the screen, you give him the ball and you run a handoff or you run a hand back. And then you force them. And then the Celtics run this play all the time. Handoff to a pick and roll. And if they're switching and you're doing handoff, pick and roll, flip the screen on that, and all of a sudden you've got three different actions in the span of a second and a half, you're going to have Nets defenders going, what, who? And that's all from one action. We haven't even talked about Tatum getting the pick and roll. Tatum as the ball handler. Using Kemba. If they're going to switch, getting Tatum onto Kyrie. Now you're hunting mismatches a little bit. But that at least opens things up. Now you can run those pick and rolls on the side. You can have a smaller guy, Smart or Kemba, come over and set those screens. And now you have Tatum. If Tatum's going, get him those pick and rolls. Set those screens, hunt those mismatches a little bit. But the Celtics, just those little adjustments right there, just those things have now created situations where the ball is in the middle of the paint and it can move. I would much rather have Robert Williams doing this stuff. I would much have rather have Robert Williams doing this stuff. Like, that goes without saying. Because he can get the ball in the middle of the paint, take one dribble and go up and dunk it, but he's also very good at whipping around and flipping it into the corner, and the ball will whip. The ball will move. I'm telling you. But you got to recognize how they're playing that defense. You got to recognize where those defenders are, and you got to make the right read. You got to make the right play. What does that do for them in this game? Does that help? Does that maybe they score some more points? But I'll tell you what, if you're missing shots and you got to run back and you got to cross match and they're going to be in transition, that's going to be a problem. But if you do this stuff and you hit some shots, then you can set your defense, and then who knows? Maybe you can play up on them. Maybe you get lucky again. Maybe they get a little cold again. Who knows? But you got to hope for some luck against the Celtics, against the Nets. But going out there and missing shots and playing the way they've played, and just looking for fouls and not getting those foul calls, you're gonna get those guys back out into transition again, and then you're gonna get killed.